of the most important mornings for me has been Easter. And especially at dawn, which it isn't quite, it's a little bit beyond dawn. I've gathered with any who've wanted to gather. In fact, I made a deal one year with the pastor of Old South Church because he wanted to have sunrise at the same time every year, like 7. And I said, sunrise service is at sunrise. And he said, well, if you promise to be here every year, we'll do it at sunrise. And so we did. And now Lindsay does sunrise at Old South with her youth. And if you want to hear that, you can go to Old South Church, UCC in Kirtland's site and find that sunrise service. But for us this morning, we're looking east-ish, past the church. You hear the birds signaling a new morning, a new day, signaling that things will continue, that the birds will sing, trees will bloom, flowers will come up, Christ is risen. We hear the cars go by, hear the sounds of the world on this morning, and yet nothing can change the fact that these birds are signaling this new morning has broken. From our scripture, we hear this age-old, time-loved gospel message. For on the first day of the week, at early dawn, they came to the tomb, taking the spices that they had prepared. They found the stone rolled away, but when they went in, they did not find the body. While they were perplexed about this, suddenly 2 men in dazzling clothes stood beside them. The women were terrified and bowed their faces to the ground, but the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, but has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still in Galilee that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners and be crucified, and on the 3rd day rise again." Then they remembered his words, and returning from the tomb, they told all this to the 11 and to all the rest. Now it was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and the other women with them who told this to the apostles. But these words seemed to them an idle tale, and they did not believe them. But Peter got up and ran to the tomb. Stooping and looking in, he saw the linen cloths by themselves. Then he went home, amazed at what had happened. Sweet the rains. They have taken the Lord out of his tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him. Mary Magdalene said those words. And we can say this with her in times of doubt and questioning. Then there's that last glorious chapter of Luke, where Jesus says, "Why are you so perturbed? Why do questions arise in your minds? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself. Touch me and see." Yes, sometimes it is most surely an exercise of faith for us to see Christ, especially in each other. But it is through such exercise that we grow, and the joy of our calling assures us we are on the right path. Most certainly, it is easier to believe now that the sun warms us, and we know that buds will appear on the trees, and that life will spring out of the dull clods that are now our yards and gardens. There are wars and rumors of war, poverty and plague, hunger and pain. Still, the sap is rising. Again, there is the resurrection of spring, God's continuing promise to us that he is with us always, with his comfort and joy, if we will only ask. And this morning, as we hear the birds, as we hear and see the day coming to life, as we see the sky lightening, we can't see the sun rise this morning, but we can see that sky getting clearer and brighter as the sun rises on this Easter morning. Let's hear a prayer as we then get ready to go about our Easter day on this very different Easter morning. O God, giver of new life, we gather this morning at sunrise in our various places. Today, Lent is ended. Our eyes are open and we discover that you are alive and that you are always with us. The flowers are beginning to bloom. The earth is beginning to green. We come together in beauty and in truth. We come together not in a physical space, but we come together in our hearts with you at the center. We come because we have hope that the resurrection will enter into each of our lives and transform them. Through Christ's Spirit, we have come to love one another, as Christ commanded his disciples on that night of his Last Supper with them. This is what you showed us on the first Easter, when you raised your Son from the dead, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Now, all of you watching this know that I am not a solo singer. And so it's always better for me to have many of you singing with me. But as that can't happen this morning, and Lindsay, if you're watching this, the guitar may or may not be in tune. But you know, when the song is done, I'm just going to let it sit for a minute so you can hear the birds and feel the blessing of this morning at sunrise-ish.